You know, I remember I wrote a blog a long time ago, Surviving Mother's Day Without a Mother. And I spoke about all the different women who stepped up to that role for me throughout the years, including my stepmom, my godmom, and just, you know, friends, family, their parents. But also it helped me to be more vigilant and just to be very, very wary of the fact that this could happen to me. So when it did happen, I was just like, wish it didn't, but we were kind of, you know, braced for it.
So tell me a little bit about that, Chelan. So you were always hoping, your words, that this didn't happen to you.
Yes.
You were doing your checks
Yes.
regularly?
I do personally, like by myself, because you weren't at the age where you were going to get your regular mammogram just yet. So I was doing it at home, in the shower, and those things.
Yeah. And then, very recently...
So it wasn't with any of the checks that I found it. I was literally on the couch, talking on the phone, and you know, sometimes you're talking and you put the phone down on your chest. I placed the phone down right here, and it didn't sync. And I was like, what's this? So, I checked it, and I was like, this doesn't feel so right. But there's no one way that it feels. So you can't feel it and say, oh, this is cancer, you know? So I went to my stepmom, and I was like, could you feel this and tell me if you feel something? She examined me. She said, I didn't feel it, but go to the doctor because we already, let's just be safe. And she said, go to the doctor. So I went to the doctor literally the next day, I think. And he was like, so I'm going on all this time. I want him to tell me that I'm being paranoid because all my friends now are like, oh, you're overreacting, you're being paranoid. And he examined me and he said, oh, I feel what you're talking about. And I was like, lad, And he's like, but it might just be fibrocystic. You might just have, lumpy breasts. So I said, okay, let's go. So he said, okay, let's go for the biopsy. The mammogram, just to be certain. So we went for the mammogram, and while in there, they checked both breasts, and they couldn't find the lump. Like, it wasn't that visible. So they sent me to do an ultrasound in the next room, same day. So while I'm doing it, talking, and the doctor says to me, could you just point exactly where you feel this lump, where you feel the thing? And I pointed, and he said, oh, no, I see it. It's so small. If it's anything, it's no problem. It's so small. So, but he said, they told me straight off the bat that it wasn't fluid, that it was definitely solid. So I'll have to do a fine needle biopsy. So once you learn that now, it starts going a little bit faster because things start to whirlwind.
How long ago was this, Chelan?
March. So it was January, February, March, so the beginning. So March 23rd, the results from the fine needle biopsy came back and said, it's positive.
That day when you found out, what goes through your mind on that day?
When I found out that I had to do chemo?
Yes.
So basically, when you find out you have to do chemo is when you find out that there was it was in the lymph nodes. So you take out the lump and then they test it to see if there's any there.
Lonnie is doing a number.
That's Lonnie shaving it off for me. And so it's a lot because now it might be a little bit more...
complicated.
Yeah, a little bit more complicated. And it would have been great if I just said, oh, I did this and then I don't have to do chemo. But when I have to do chemo, it becomes... It was real before, but it's just compounded. Like, it's way more real at that time.
So. I know you recently had treatment.
Yes.
You have treatment often.
Yeah.
Treatment is not easy.
No, it's not.
Yeah, but you have good days, you have bad days.
Right.
You're happy in the good days, and then when treatment days come, you're like, oh.
Yeah, so it's because you know what's coming after the treatment. So the treatment isn't, as bad, but it's what you have to deal with, the nausea, the tiredness, and everything after. Yeah.
That's your sister?
Yeah, my little sister, she's a fifth-year med student. So she comes and administers my injections for me to boost the white blood cells so I don't get too sick.
Chelan, you have a village.
Yes, that's what I keep saying.
You have a village.
Between my family and my friends, I speak of it often because it is so true. I am literally in a bubble, like I'm in a bubble of love. There has not been a moment.
Oh, okay. No,
There
go
hasn't
on.
been a moment where I have felt alone.
Chelan,
Yes.
we did some digging and we understand that travel is a joy of yours.
Yes.
And you and Kim had a trip planned to a very special place that you had to put off because of everything that's going on.
Yes.
So we thought here on the show that if you can get to the place, we're going to bring the place to you. So I'm going to ask you to shut your eye just for a little bit. Shut your
Okay,
eyes for a
I'm
little
not
bit.
peeking.
Just a little bit.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Open them now and look at the screen. Where are we? Where are we?
Is it South Africa?
Yeah!
Is this the Giraffe Man
This
shot?
is Giraffe Manor, where you and Kim were planning to go. This is in
Yes.
Kenya, guys. So we're virtually and vicariously taking you. So relax yourself. Put up your foot on this thing.
Yes.
Look.
Very
Hi,
close.
Mr. Giraffe. so this is a place where people go to visit in Kenya.
Yes.
And it's Giraffe Manor because people dine, and as you can see, Los Giraffes. This is what you wanted to experience.
Yes.
Why did you want to go here?
Just well, I definitely want to go to countries in Africa, but this was just one that just seemed whimsical and fun, and then the giraffes with the animals.
Yeah. Okay.
I really want to go.
Inexpensive trip.
Yeah.
We went. This is the way we end our show every Monday night. Cue music. Love it. So life's unexpected experiences have an uncanny way of putting things into perspective for us really quickly. They cause us to reevaluate and to reprioritize, and hopefully they help us to appreciate what we thought were the small things, like walking outside, a hug, a smile, and the value of time. And life also teaches us through those same gut punches how to be brave. She said it, even though sometimes we don't even realize that's exactly what we're doing. And being brave is not the absence of fear, it is having the will to persevere even when we are most afraid, right?
That is so true.
And bravery is about how we keep walking when all we want to do is stop and give up and give in. We never know how strong and brave we are until being strong and brave are the only choices we have. That is the power of the human spirit. And they say it's often darkest before dawn. So tonight we are keeping that glimmer of hope alive to light all our paths. And we're reminding ourselves that illness doesn't define who we are. It is our strength and courage that defines who we are. So we're going to make each moment and each day count. And as Chelan would say, we're going to be still and know. Our affirmation for today, can you say it for me, Chelan?
Sure. I am one with faith, and faith gives me hope.
Tell him again.
I am one with faith, and faith gives me hope.
And we believe that.
Absolutely.
And we live that every day.
Every day.
And we honor you for it.
Thank you.
And we